Ever wondered what makes TV so powerful in Jamaica? Time to find out. Welcome to Global TV Group 358, where television meets innovation. We're not just about shows, we're about shaping society. In Jamaica, TV keeps you informed, connects diverse voices, and supports democracy. Imagine a Jamaica where broadcasters unite, sharing data and collaborating globally. That's us, a unified voice in the TV industry. Did you know TV advertising is still king? It drives website traffic, boosts brand equity, and powers integrated campaigns. Even in an age of digital, TV stands strong, resilient in tough times. Our global TV deck is your treasure trove of insights and data. With charts, graphs, and success stories, it's your guide to impactful TV advertising. Curious to learn more? Visit our website and see how Global TV Group 358 keeps television at the heart of entertainment in Jamaica. Get ready to binge watch the future.
God of my salvation, because the mouth of the sinful and wicked is open. Rastafari. Come with I. Rastaman throw one stone, and it break a bad feeling to all wicked men. Not a people there. Make a man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Only when man like Marcus Garvey speak, wicked men would I hear. Hear now hear. Instead of that, they only sit aside a rub and cheat, and not press the poor. Make up what I seen to. Make him a throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a plan! Make him a throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. My favorite man, if Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the day them can sell out Rasta and sell it out and sell out Babylon. They give man throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. They give man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. If Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the dead and can sell out Rasta and sell out, I sell out Babylon. Yes, stop on the Friday. You might throw a stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a black thing, man, throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. You have eyes to see, let him see. You have ears to hear, let them hear. What a prophet must say. President Mandela was in prison for 20 odd years. And he leave from the prison and take the seat of the president. Stone one. Big him and throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all control what's good, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men.
Good morning to everyone on the Eastern Timeline. If you're in London and the United Kingdom, good afternoon and welcome to Global TV. It is your morning, afternoon at a glance program. Depends on what timeline you are on. I was a bit busy this morning, to be honest, so I haven't got a program prepared for you. We're just out here to witter and chatterbox this morning. And anybody may walk across us. We might just hold them and throw them up to the fence this morning. To my community of party and all my family members, platform moderators, membership holders, dear subscribers, commenters, and trolls. Oh, let me fix my mic. Sorry, someone's saying fix my mic. Oh yes, the mic has jumped from my desk mic into my camera mic. Thank you for letting me. I hope it's better now. It's back to my desk mic. So you should be able to hear me much better now. So we will just crisscross across the place this morning because we really didn't have... I have a lot of hospital appointments set up until about May. I am not ill, but when you get to the glorious age of 100 in the United Kingdom, it tends to happen from age 45 to 50. You get all sorts of hospital NHS appointment to do all the different vital checks of everything and all of the major checks. So ever since my 50th birthday, I'm having these appointments one after the other: CT scan, MRI scan, bone density scan, this scan, kidney scan, all sorts. They just, when you get to that age, they check every bits and pieces of chronies. So I have filled up most of those appointments. I hope I will finish them all by May time. It's just how the NHS work over here. They look after you when you get into the elderly bracket. They want to make sure they check ahead of time so nothing really jump out of the hoops and surprises you. Anyway, my peeps, thank you all very much for being here this morning. Jennifer Haven, Beaton Teach, Keith Matthews, good morning, good morning. Vincent Denham, good morning and welcome. Daphne Jackson, good morning, good morning. Sophia Hall, good morning. Jackie Walford, good morning. Opal Watson, good morning and welcome. Thank you all for joining us. Shauna Smith, good morning, good afternoon. Althea, good morning, good afternoon. Is there anyone on TikTok? TikTok looks slow this morning. Look at the labor right. I'm not nothing for do. Debbie and Duncan. Is it Alti 50? Morning and welcome. So we're going to appeal to the Prime Minister this morning. I want to appeal to the Prime Minister on behalf of us poor people. Marcia Essay. Before we get into the dregs of society, before we start to deal with the depressed widow, before we get to the depressed widow this morning, Mr. Prime Minister, sir, I talk to your gentle with Prime Minister Verna Adams, regardless of our dislike for you, Christine Gilbert. You are our Prime Minister. We may hate to say it, Celine Browning rather. But Andrea Joan Hamilton Wilson, you are our Prime Minister. Bitter weed as you are our Prime Minister. And I come to you this morning in peace and in grace. Don't know if you're in that type of spirit. Nikisha, good morning. Gloria Morris, good morning. Don't know, Prime Minister, if you're in that type of peace and grace. But me come in a peace and grace this morning, Prime Minister. And before we talk on the Prime Minister, Sandra Watkins Bailey, morning. Annie Jones. We want to once again extend our condolences to Mr. Bolt and his entire family and the passing of his dad. Everyone knows how it feels if you have been down that road already to lose a parent. So once again, from the entire Globalist team at Global TV and our entire Globalist audience, condolences to Mr. Bolt and his family. Violet Watson, Gloria Morris, Horn of the Morning, Ladybug. So remember, Prime Minister, we say we are coming at peace this morning. I know, Prime Minister, in the political spheres and mindset of our people, gimmickry is a big thing for our politicians, especially those of you in the Jamaica Labour Party. We know how important photo apps are for you when you all want to fool us, when you want to make it out as if you're doing something, Colin, morning. We know how important photo apps is for you all. What I'm asking, though, Prime Minister, take our dignity in consideration while getting your photo up and make the public see that I'm doing something, Junior Black. Prime Minister, I am very tired of knowing struggling Jamaicans, Prime Minister. I'm very tired, Prime Minister, of knowing Jamaicans who get some level or form of assistance from the public purse, Prime Minister. I'm not saying they're not supposed to get help from the public purse. In fact, Prime Minister, I would support more of us being assisted from the public purse. What annoys me, though, Prime Minister, is how everybody in Jamaica, once your government helps us, can walk and paint pan way and say the government do that for them. Dignity, Prime Minister. Think about our dignity. I know you want your mileage, Carleen Jones. Prime Minister, I know and I understand that you want your political mileage. But think of Jamaicans and their dignity. When you give them a little social housing, when you help them with a little hospital bill, when you help them, any little thing you help them with, Prime Minister, we really don't want to know. I'm sure, Prime Minister, if you do a survey, Prime Minister, you will find out that we are not comfortable. Most of us are not comfortable with people being showed to the world that they are the poorest of the poor. And us, Mother Teresa, the Jamaica Labour Party, have to come forward and pull them out of a dismal situation. Prime Minister, the world don't have to know that. Their community already know, Prime Minister. Leave it there, no? Leave it with the community. Prime Minister, you know why it irritates me? And this is truth and this is facts. My brother and sister them can verify it. My community can verify it. It irritates me for the reason that we grew up very poor. I grew up very poor. You know, the sleep on floor in a board touch lot house and them something that, like, poor was poor when we was growing up. Because of that, my mother have to move from every little rickety-tickety rent house to make sure we don't sleep under a green tree. The biggest disgrace, Prime Minister, Sharon Bernard, morning. The biggest disgrace for my Prime Minister, when we were growing up, everybody cussed my mother and tell her, go take your picking them out of people old house and go find place, put them. Nobody in my community, Prime Minister, when I cuss my mother and tell her that. We have to grow up with that. We have to grow up living in that substandard type of poverty while everybody around we take it tell with Prime Minister. That's why I feel personal about it, Prime Minister Marcelin. When you cascade poor people around the world and show the world how we did I live and how you, Mother Teresa, help them out. I feel personally, Prime Minister, I'm very cut up about it. But we can't tap you or your glory. You're not a person with decorum. You're not a person with empathy. So you wouldn't, even though you claim you grow poor better than me, because sometimes it was a 1-bedroom house, sometimes it was a 2-bedroom. Make it what you will, Prime Minister. Marjorie Goldberg, good morning. But we don't, Prime Minister, the whole world don't have to know that these people are dirt poor. When you go to Prime Minister and light action camera, click, 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 they're there for the rest of the world to see for the rest of their life, Prime Minister. Even when they become rich, when the same labor writer go tell them, member say if I never Andrew Holness, you wouldn't have house. Evan Johnson, how you do? See if you can find it in your heart, Prime Minister, to preserve poor people's dignity. Because, you know, beside poorness is a crime. Mark, good morning. Beside poorness is being a crime, Prime Minister, is also a national embarrassment. People use poorness curse you. People use poorness to look down upon you. It is how society is created in most society. But we get the very rub out of it in a few neck of the woods. Norman Ferguson, well gone, bro. Colleen, welcome. Donette Harriet, how you doing? So, see, Prime Minister, when that's what I was asking you yesterday, if you don't see the video that JC did, a show with a lot of grave that made and put down for. Oh no, them as always. That is Annie Jones. That is a thing that it's always, most of those cemeteries in Jamaica have ready-made grave put down, but our young people is what provide them that level of business. Because those of us who grow up in the 70s, 80s, some of you from the 60s, and so on, it was only old people that was dying when we were growing up. There was no need for ready-made grave when we were growing up. But, you know, young people, politicians have, Isilda Williams, how are you? Put gun into young people's hand. Campbell, how you do? Marcia Gale. Politician and businessmen, Barbara Simpson, has put gun into young people's hand. So that's why you say Babsy can buy a casket for $2 million. Get it, man, because Babsy can afford $2 million casket. Talk truth, Babsy. Babsy, talk truth. Only you. Only out of the public purse. Somebody I got take and ears. $2 million buy one casket with full state honor funeral, Babsy Grange. Are you good, my girl? Where you kill your own Dan and give him a state funeral after. But never mind that, Babsy. We'll meet you on the other side of Jordan. But back to the Prime Minister. This is an appeal, Prime Minister. This is not an attack on you. I know that you may think that because we always go off on you, it is not an attack. The funeral costs $5 million. Me wouldn't surprise because if casket alone are for $2 million, the government needs to tell you because this was public money. The government needs to tell us the cost of policing for Thickman's funeral. Jackie, good morning. Welcome. How are you doing? Because it is public money, Dr. Chang needs to tell us how much it costs the public purse to police Thickman's funeral. We, the public, who paid for that. Sue, how you do? We, the public, Babsy Grange, after you take up millions of taxpayer money by casket for your man, we still have to pay for the policing for Thickman funeral. And we, the public, wants to know, Babsy Grange, Horace Chang, Andrew Holness, how much did the taxpayer, how much did the taxpayer pick up? How much was the bill that us, the taxpayers, pick up for policing Thickman's funeral? We ought to know. It is our money. And it was excessive security, if you ask me. The following is 70 for those information. If you ask me, it was an excessive security apparatus. And us, the public, ought to be told how much did it cost us, Beat and Teach, welcome to TikTok, to protect the dead. How much did it cost us, the taxpayers, to protect the dead? Babsy Grange's special death. So if Babsy Grange and Horace Chang and them lot could just tell us how much we paid for Thickman's security. Hyacinth, welcome. How much we paid to secure Thickman's funeral? Because anybody, this is why it was excessive. Because a Thickman a bury, and a gang kill Thickman, a wholeness shoot at them. So the opposing gang never go come at Thickman funeral, come have a face off. The most would be happening there would be illegal gun salute. You don't need so much police to be on team to prevent an illegal gun salute. The security that they came with was like another group is gonna come to attack Tickman's funeral. I don't think that would have been the perception. Of course, you would have had angry gun salute, Stacy, and how you do. You would have had angry gun salute from his clans and all that. But that excessive security, Horace Chang, we the public deserve to know how much it costs us to secure Thickman parade and funeral procession and everything. So while you're at it, once again, Prime Minister, see if you can find it in your heart to, yes, help Jamaicans who are in need of help. Hot off the press, morning, sis. But do not embarrass us, Prime Minister. Don't make the whole world know, say, if it's not because, don't make the whole world walk and pint pan when you say, you know, she have hearing impairment because the Prime Minister did have to help her by hearing aid. Or you know, I want rickety tickety she did live in, the Prime Minister have to go haul her out at Duckant's Nest and Bill Host. Yeah. Prime Minister, please, Antoinette Chin, morning. Ken Roy Stewart, morning. May we go look at what when your Prime Minister resigned, Ken Roy. As long as Holness resigned, I will go and look at work. For now, your Prime Minister is my job. Joan Brown, good morning. So say if you find it in your heart, Prime Minister, you see just like how the thief in long bag, where you walk with, where you could have provided to the Integrity Commission and keep it at that, but you're gonna quote Ganwala over the long bag, Prime Minister. So we're asking you, just like how you want your privacy and your dignity preserved, we're asking for that and expecting that, Roger Morning, when you're dealing with poor people, when you're giving government assistance to less fortunate Jamaican Prime Minister. We are tired of the public embarrassment. You getting a photo of Prime Minister, it's no evidence of you doing good or you being a leader. It just look for what it is when the pinner morning. It just one Messiah, morning, welcome. It just look for what it is, Prime Minister, a grand old photo up. It's not about riling against you helping people who are less fortunate and need help from the public purse. The issue is, Prime Minister, is the public embarrassment where every poor people help by you, true love, welcome. The entire world know if we did live in a Duckant's Nest and the Prime Minister haul us out and help us, if we're blind and the Prime Minister help with Dr. Bill, if we're deaf and the Prime Minister help us with hearing, the world don't need to know that. What you call your social housing, Prime Minister, it is running these first world countries, because remember Dr. Longmore told us that what she know of Jamaica is a first world country. Now, even though you don't get it right, that what you're calling social housing is not actually social housing. But most of us, Prime Minister, a lot of us who live in the United Kingdom or in Europe and North America, we live in these social housing, whether we call them social housing or we call them projects or whatever we call them. We live in these systems. We have the access to the rent to buy and the rent to own and all that. But never have you seen, Prime Minister, a government in the first world taking a photo up to hand over a social housing to us. We signed for our keys in privacy, Prime Minister, and nobody, the world don't know where we live. The world don't know that I live at that particular address, Prime Minister. And this is the type of privacy and human dignity I'm appealing to you for, to make sure, say, yes, help us. And that we elect on for, but don't embarrass us in the meantime while helping us. We, the people of the rest of Jamaica and the world, don't need to know that Miss Gwen was living in a deplorable situation, Prime Minister, and you have to come to her aid. I wholly disagree with that. As I said, poorness was a disgrace and an embarrassment for me when I was growing up. Old house, rent house was an embarrassment for me when I was growing up. Everybody used to use a cuss word. So I feel very ticked off, Prime Minister, all the while me go on about it, but this man may come to you in peace because me always come to you in anger about it. But I'm coming to you in peace this morning. See if you can find it in your heart to preserve our dignity, Prime Minister. Yes, assist us. But in the meantime, at the same time, preserve our dignity. Don't put we out to the world, make the world know, say, without your help, we would have still in the duck's nest. We want to come out of the duck's nest, of course, but we still want to maintain dignity and privacy, Prime Minister. So see, if you can just see in your heart, say, it not look good. I know it may be a great photo up for you. I know it may be a great campaign for you, especially at a time like now going into an election. But think about the young people who go to school and them one campaign pan them and say, oh, and them did live in the old house where the Prime Minister go get no sympathy the Prime Minister Facebook page. Come on now, Prime Minister. Cut it out. Cut! It's out, Prime Minister. Enough of it. You're governing the country on a clickbait galangin, Prime Minister. Like you're a clickbait government. Whoa, who if we tackle next? Who do we tackle next? Oh, there. You know, they're all having a meltdown. You see, one thing, regardless of what you want to say about Mark Golden, there's a lot to say about Mark Golden in a lot of quarters that we always criticize Mark Golden, his forcefulness, his presentation, but he's growing. The truth is, he's growing compared to how we used to throw him up against the wall 2-3 years ago. He has really grown. And what Mark Golden, because him seemed like him not in the gimmickry, in his vetting and selection of candidates that he wants to return to Parliament after the general election. Unlike Andrew Holness in the 2020 general election, where Andrew just give you a seat because you're a loyalist, Mark Golden, as we can see, is carefully bringing in some brain power into government or into the legislature. And that is a very good thing. Let me tell you why. You know, the Integrity Act and others that have been passed under Andrew Holness, you see the contention with them and the Integrity Act Everard Warmington is confused of what authority given to the Integrity Commission by the Act, because they don't read the Act. They don't understand the powers that the Act gave to the Integrity Commission in order to do their job. Similarly, he has problem with the spending of the Integrity Commission. He wants an audit report. The Easy Jerk morning, bro. He wants an audit report, which is submitted in the yearly Integrity Commission report. But again, they do not read, so they don't understand or know. Delroy Chuck, the Minister of Justice. Oh, never mind poor Marlene. Because if you have to whittle your way through Marlene's confusion, you're going to end up feeling as dizzy of just hopping off a merry-go-round. So leave dear old Marlene aside. But the Minister of Justice, Delroy Chuck, gave the advice to Juliet Cockburn-Finn and others. Tell your spouse they do not have to give information over to the Integrity Commission. Now, this is the Minister of Justice, where there's a section in the Integrity Commission that says they must. They're under duty to provide those documentation. But because the Minister of Justice is either corrupt or incompetent, the Minister of Justice is unaware that the Act give the Integrity Commission the authority, Lyndon, welcome. The Act gave the Integrity Commission the authority, Uniquely, to request this information, sunshine. Again, because the Minister of Justice, because that day in the committee in Parliament, the Minister of Justice was very, very confused. If the Minister of Justice was aware, I know, Linda, because the labor rights them always a target me, did start a whole new page again. So, my sister, you find me welcome. I so we then hour until me and them go at it again. If the Minister of Justice was aware, Jason Hamilton, of what was in the Act, the Minister of Justice wouldn't then be so bewildered as to why the Integrity Commission is requesting those documentation from spouse or children of MP. If the minister has read the Act and has given that advice, it would be a deliberate law breaking, because he has advised them to break the law. Your Minister of Justice, our Minister of Justice. You see why it is a good thing that Mark Golding is carefully selecting brains. Mark Golding is putting, by the way he selects his cabinet, he's putting somebody at health that understand health. Peter Bunting, who I'm not keen on, who I have a dislike for Peter Bunting, just as I have for Andrew Holness, because both of them are two narcissists. And I would feel horrified seeing Peter Bunting as leader of this country, just as horrified as I am with Andrew Holness as leader of our country. Don't know how well he is placed at national security, given his not so brilliant job when he was there with God's intervention and all of that. But Mark Golding have made some very strategic placement where you can tell that Mark Golding will have a bright, experienced cabinet placed in position where they're competent. Not like what the Prime Minister told us when he minted Favor and was asked the question about his decision making, how he got to his decision making, and how long did it take him, the prime minister, to make the decision. The prime minister answer was, I'm not one that really believes in qualification and experience when choosing someone for these top jobs. It's about them being disciplers, the prime minister said, to my fiscal policy. DJ Architect, RCS Blues, morning and welcome. So this is why we see such a calamitous presentation from the Minister of Finance, because the truth is, as I've said, it will be another heartache. But I think when Andrew chose Favor, he chose the wrong person for the job. It would be better, even though we would be up in arms about it, to put his wife at the Ministry of Finance and find something else to do with Favor, because Favor is wholly incompetent as Minister of Finance. You can, even by her reading, by her mathematics, by their fruit, Miss Williams, you can know them. So, the big problem now is Isaac Buchanan. And their old darling went off on a rant. You know, she got her green shirt, no? She get the green shirt, so she have to campaign. So because she get the green shirt, and you know, he was on a political platform in St. James recently. And the attack was Isaac Buchanan. And you know, they're always attacking Isaac and his past. But everything that the members and supporters of the Jamaica Labour Party does is very contradictory. Very, very contradictory. Now, you see with the Mount Golden issue, Bev, morning, they rage a whole birtherism, culturism, and racism, which we have never really dealt with in our society before. But because of weakness in their 9 years of governance, they have to do the ad hominem, where they go off on the personal attacks rather than dealing with real issues. Now, the composition of the Jamaica Labour Party, you can say half white or half black, half non-black. That's the composition of the Jamaica Labour Party. The People's National Party composition as Mark Golden, a non-black, as the leader of the party, has become a no-no. It has become an open racism, Blake Morning. It has become open xenophobia. We pick and choose which part of the slave master. If you listen to people like Peter King's widow, we choose which of the slave master and what part of the slave master we want to get involved with. Like, it's not so good to get entangled with Mr. Golden as leader of the country, because Mark Golden is a descendant of the slave. Mr. John Golden generation wealth came from slavery. But how much members of the private sector can you argue that their wealth does not come from slavery? How much of the European descendant in politics in the Jamaica Labour Party, European or Asian descendant, that does not get them wealth out of slavery or indentured labor? There's a lineage where them wealth come from. So this racism and birtherism, when you look at the composition of both parties based on race and culture, you really see say it's drowning man clutching after straw. Similarly, they regularly go after Isaac Buchanan because of his past history. But look at the Jamaica Labour Party. You have a convicted criminal just weeks ago was convicted sitting in Parliament. Maricia Dalrymple Filbert. To be using Isaac's criminal record of the past, properly rehabilitated and has contributed to society. If you're not aware, ask Paula Llewellyn. If you're not aware, ask Paula Llewellyn. Because Isaac Buchanan accomplishment is the biggest problem for UNO. Coupled with that, Portland has finally, East Portland has finally received what kind of software I download while I'm on the phone? Never mind. East Portland now have the opportunity to have proper representation. Everton Jarrett, good morning, darling. Good morning. Lovely to see you, Everton. Joy Barnes, good morning. Lovely to see you, Everton Jarrett. Good morning. What do you want? Roast, boil, steam, or fry? Anyway, Isaac Buchanan's success is really sunshine. Thanks for membership, for coming onto the team. Isaac Buchanan is really rubbing not just Portland in the wrong direction, the entire Jamaica Labour Party. And we're going to have to pick up donation, Panya, you know, because there's a particular rope that we have to buy that's called palatine rope. Anybody who used to tie out hog and cow knows a palatine rope, strong palatine rope hard for bus. And we're going to need a lot of rope. Chef James, morning. We're going to need a lot of rope. Globalists, give Chef James a follow, support her page so she can get more people to go live. We're going to need Oli Paro. Miss So, morning. Thanks, Joy Barnes. Welcome to the team. We're going to need Oli Paro, so we're going to pick up donations to buy palatine rope because we can. Remember, some mad people trying, you know. Mad people trying on them easy for bus weak rope. So we can back out. Open people we have to tie up, you know. We're going to have Karen Crosses, Sunny Days, Michelle Stern, Vegas, one only for disgruntled JLP vlogger, TikToker. We have so much people for tie to tree. I hope no hurricane no come blow down the tree them because we're going to need palatine rope and tree for tie only pound upon. Because when you say Isaac walk down Duke Street, he go take up him seat in a parliament. And then when you hear say Isaac Buchanan, the state secretary for legal and constitutional affairs, me don't know what kind of rope we're going to use tie on, you know. Maybe we're going to have to broke on a foot, or we're going to have to do something there. You know what them used to do with Duppy if you Duppy no torment your first time jazz morning. Buy one pack of common pin and nail them up in the Duppy, in the dead people foot and broke them off in there so the Duppy can't walk when in there, or the superstitions that we grow up with. The superstitions that we grow up with. But that we're going to have to do, you know. We're going to have to buy palatine rope and common pin. Because we're going to have to nail up common pin in our foot, but I'm to make sure, say, We not turn one place and mad. Because we don't have the patient for run out of town. Run out of so much town. When I'm mad. So we're going to need polythene rope and command pin. Come here, command pin on the foot bottom for stand up and watch Isaac walk up Duke Street and watch Isaac become the Minister of Legal and Constitutional Affairs. He who will lead the constitutional review process. He who understands the Constitution. If you think a lie, me I tell, ask Paula, Otashi and Isaac, who understand the Constitution better. Who did you hear they listen to in the Privy Council? Not Paula Llewellyn. She has never in her career as a director of public prosecution, Hugh Richards, good morning. Never in her career as a director of public prosecution stand and address the law lords. Given that, one of the one golden for on Jamaica kind, why can he come from Britain? But on still want to come bow before the Judicial Committee of the Privy Council and say, Master, we know that you are the authority on the law. And we beseech thee, Master, to intercede and give us clarity on this point of law. But, Master, we will stick to you in the Privy Council. But we want the fake independence or the fake republicanism. Light, action, camera, click, 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 clickbait government. Click, click, click. If you want to know where Andrew, they're going to look on social media. With the policy Mark Golden outlined in his budget presentation, and with the masterful brains, Norman Roberts, with the masterful brains that Mark Golden is bringing to Parliament, Mandela's strength, I can assure you, they will not have to run around the country and take photo ops to campaign and tell you, the people, lie, Judy Roberts, that they are doing something which they have not done in 9 years. Wholeness not give we running water in a 9 years, but wholeness won't give we running water in a 9 weeks. Depression. All of us, Miss King, all of us have gone through depression, or some of us, probably not all of us, because some of us are happy do jolly do wally. But a lot of us, some of us, have gone through depression at some point in our life. Welcome, Kathy. Whether be by trauma, grief, or various other things that can take us from that stage of stress to the stage of depression. It can get to the stage of clinical depression, the worst sort of depression, where you're almost tipping over into the area of psychotic galangin. Leave that aside. We have all had shocks in our life, isn't it? The artists. To the artists, we have all had shocks in our life. Things that make the chemical in the brain become unbalanced. Thereby, it affects the behavior, the mood, the thoughts, as well as the action, you see. We are aware that because of your own doing, thanks for the football, Kathy, We are aware, Claudette Robinson, that because of your own doing, you became affected by something that would affect a lot of people on both sides of the fence, male or female. If, for that matter, Mr. Vegas, probably the only time I will call your name, they choose to put themselves in that situation. Estina Tyner Studwire, Monica Wills. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you. If they choose to put themselves, Florence, in that situation that you chose to put yourself in, now we understand that was all because of lack of trust, or for whatever reason. We know what you saw, we know how you felt. The issue is, it has not gone away. Self-medicating, Miss King, is not always the best way to deal with a psychological problem. The issue is up here, Miss King. So therefore, the issue have to be dealt with at that level, not through self-medication. Because self-medication in context to depression can be narcissistic attention seeking. It can be recreational drug. It can be sex addiction. It can be food addiction. It depends on the person. Yours may linger into the narcissistic attention seeking side of things. Going back to the stage, you seem to were doing okay over there. People seem to have respect or some level of likeness or love for you when you were over there. The territory, but then the territory you have climbed down to is not serving you well. Because when you have certain level of influence, as you know, that new word, influencer or influencers or sirs, when you have a level of influence, I am one of the belief that that influence must not be used to mislead the masses. In my opinion, it is what you do on a day-to-day basis. Because you regularly comes out in public and you lie on behalf of this government. You tell lies and member of the People's National Party. Sorry, I sip my coffee. To the tune where you same one come out here and tell us, I was lying. I have no evidence. I have no facts. It is just normally and naturally what labor rights supporters do. Now, if labor supporters, if Andrew Holness, sip your coffee. Had Andrew Holness not wasted 9 glorious years, 9 years of great improvement in the economy, 4 or 5 of that 9 years, the strongest legislative power of a government of our time. We have not seen, though, where this Prime Minister used that legislative power to enhance Jamaicans. Let us use the Beach Act as an example. The Beach Act is a very old colonial act, which prevents us or give our beach to private developers and all of them something there. It has been more and more contentious when it comes to beach access for Jamaicans and most of our beach across the island, especially in the tourism sectors. Previous governments on both sides of the fence, Labour and PNP, has failed to address this issue. This issue, throughout Andrew Holness's 9 year, has become a hotbread issue. If Andrew Holness cares and is listening to the people of Jamaica, since 2020, this Prime Minister has the power to change the laws without opposition from the People's National Party, even if they want to oppose it. They don't have the voting power to impose it. But what we have seen the Prime Minister done is use that legislative power for personal and political gain. We have the Paula Llewellyn situation, where he went into Parliament in the dead of night and extended Paula's time. He was knocked back by the Constitutional Court. He won in the appeal court, 1-1. He then went on to subsume, after destroying the office of the political ombudsman. The Prime Minister then went into Parliament, bring a legislation over a 72 hours period, subsume the office of the political ombudsman into the Electoral Commission of Jamaica, which was already in the Prime Minister's office. That's another use of the legislative tool against us. We saw the Prime Minister did it again himself, and Desmond McKenzie and Marlene Malahoo Fort and Delroy Chuck, as well as Derek McCoy, have a lot of blame here when it comes to the Portmore Parish Galangin, which they've lost on again. And you have the Jamaica Labour Party, from the Prime Minister right down, misleading the people. The Prime Minister did this horribly wrong. Okay, the People's National Party contest wasn't to block Portmore from becoming a parish, as JLP propagandists would have you believe. That's not what it is. They went to court on issue of the mayoralty. They went to court, the one that ruled on the boundary. Right. Because Alonda Terrelong came out after the ruling and lied to members of the Jamaica Labour Party that the government has won the case. Supporters of the Jamaica Labour Party are running with that narrative, which I don't know if they know that they are being lied to. Now, they are saying the government passed the law, but the government didn't put the law in effect. Desmond McKenzie haven't put the law in effect because the government is going to now consult with the ECJ on the boundaries. Ask yourself this question. If the government passed the law and then goes back to consult with the ECJ, why did the government has a boundary in the law that the People's National Party contested and won, if the government did not intend to make those the boundary of the parish of Portmore? Because if the government is going to consult, because as I explained to you yesterday about the government green paper and the government white paper, where the green paper is a proposal for a new law you want to bring forward, and then the white paper is a consultation. But because this government bring legislation to parliament and pass them within 24, 48, 72 hours, you don't have the time for those green paper, white paper, policy proposal and consultation, which it's at that point the ECJ ought to be should have been consulted on the matter in order to get the boundary right. So an argument don't make sense if we now say, no, the prime minister is going to consult with the ECJ. No, because the court forced them to do it. The court says you cannot make the law operational until Section 67 is complied with. The violations was of Section 67, which the Prime Minister is going through it for him own way and not how the Constitution prescribe it. This is what they're doing to you, members of the Jamaica Labour Party. I don't know if you want to look like willful fools, when you come out there, come defend the nonsense. You can't write a law, pass the law, then go consult, say, what are the boundaries that should be in the legislation? So you know that that legislation have to be amended, done labor rights, before it comes into effect. Silver looking, how you do? If this is the case, because the legislation have already passed through both houses of parliament, Debian, the legislation then will have to be amended to rectify the boundaries, color. And also legislation, right? A back and front. This is legislation because the Prime Minister have a political intention. The Prime Minister write the legislation back and front. The Prime Minister should have done his green paper policy proposal, his white paper consultation, and then him bring forward him legislation. But to pass the law, then say I go consult the what's him I call it, the ECJ and the boundaries. Why did you then bring a boundary in the legislation? Answer that question. If you never intend to put the law in operation with those boundaries, if the court and PNP never stop you in your track, wouldn't those be the boundaries for Portmore? So how does it make your argument have sense to say the law not operational yet and the Prime Minister is going to consult with the ECJ? The ECJ and the Prime Minister office, you are aware of that. The ECJ advised the Prime Minister last year, June. You're aware of that. On the same thing that the Prime Minister went ahead and breached. So, Uno say it was a hitchhike to get to the journey without paying fear. Huh? Labor rights, the better on that. The better on that, labor rights. Don't make Andrew Holness continue to suddenly come out a road, come look fool. Bright lawyers out here like me and ISAT, or bright legal scholars out here like me, ISAT, and a whole heap. And everybody done like Terry Long. Trust me. And everybody have to go down on their knee, make an attorney write paper for them, make them pass them exam. Trust me. There are a lot of people out here brighter than Terry Long.
Portmore family, quick update in the court case. Major win for you, the people of Portmore, and a major win for the government. Today, the court has said no more injunction brought by the opposition to stop the process of Portmore becoming a parish. So I have always maintained that the government is acting in accordance with the Constitution and that the application by the PNP was just premature and but another desperate attempt for them to stop the process of Portmore becoming a parish because they are completely power hungry. So the government will continue with the process in keeping with the constitution, and of course we look forward to the day when Portmore will become Jamaica's 15th.
Queen Nats, good morning. I'm not encouraging anybody not to vote for the JLP. I would want everybody to vote for the PNP, because my globalist knows that when it comes to a balance in our legislature, I've maintained the view that at no point in our history our legislature should swing in the way that it did in 2020. This is one of the main reasons why Andrew Holness became the dictator he became, because of the legislative power given to him. I would not want the PNP nor the JLP to have such a power in our country again. It's not good for legislative purposes. Eyes of the unseen, morning. Samuel, morning. It's not good for legislative purposes, because the opposition duty is to safeguard our right, not morning, when it comes to legislation. And because of the voting power that the People's National Party has in Parliament at the moment, this is why you see they have to go to court to block some of this unconstitutional legislation. That once an unconstitutional legislation is implemented, it violates your constitutional rights somewhere down the line. So I wouldn't want the Jamaica Labour Party in opposition not to be able not to protect our constitutional right from a People's National Party that could go rogue on us. Because when we were electing Andrew as a country in 2016, we didn't know Andrew Holness was going to go rogue on us. That's truth. A lot of us didn't know Andrew Holness was going to go rogue on us. But the guy has completely gone rogue. Eugene Henry, Gillette Lynch, beautiful morning. John Rock, morning. Andrew Michael Holness has gone rogue on us, to the point where the Prime Minister has either forgetting or willfully disobey or disregard his 100-day promise, his crime plan, and lots of others. But he was focused on the big economy. Globalists on TikTok, make sure you're giving us a follow if you are new to the program. Labor rights morning, give us a follow as well, because you might just learn something over here, or you might just learn that your government regularly gives you a lying narrative to come out in public and defend. But back to Vegas, Sheila. What you need is professional help. We have seen right across the social media spheres, you really cannot find a niche. You just hit and grab and go. 1 minute is this, 1 minute is that. You're the only person we see get ushered out of church, just like how we see them usher in Ed Bartlett yesterday. For sure the public say there was a lot of crowd at the Galangin, and it was a fight to get Edmund Bartlett through the crowd. But what Vegas need is professional help. No amount of where I go on with, no amount of attention seeking will help your mind to understand why your partner did that to you. Kashore, morning and welcome. You have to heal from within, my friend. You You have to heal from within. You may also have added grief after the passing of Peter King and all of those things. So you can have compiled grief dealing with. The airwaves is not the best place for someone who is going through clinical depression. Certainly not. If you are going through clinical depression, you must, and with your pocket, see a psychotherapist. My advice to you would to see a psychotherapist. There are things that you need to fuddle out and fondle out in the mind that continue, Chase Clark, to plague the mind. There are confusion in the mind of certain things that you see here and what has happened, which you need to have straightened out. And that is best done through talking therapy. But in a controlled professional environment, not a splitter-splatterer environment, in a controlled professional environment. After the storm has been cleared, after the debris has been cleared from your mind, I'm sure you will be able to see a brighter light and may actually choose a direction of truth and justice. I'm not telling you to choose the PNP. No, I would never do that. But truth and justice, when you have a level of influence, in 76, he was 2 years old. What this moron and I shared in common, we share the same exact date of birth, the 29th of December, 1974. Both of us share that same date of birth. So we were both 2 years old in 1976. So, don't mind. But back to having yourself sorted out. Your influence, you're not using your influence properly. You're using your influence to deceive the masses. Especially when it has taken you out of your zone and genre to come into the world of political deception, to use your clothing, if you want to call it that. To use your clothing, if you want to call it that, from the entertainment industry. Don't get me wrong, it has been used in politics all the time, but politicians use it. But he has actually come over from entertainment and say, you know what? A politics, I do it. I saw them. I don't know if it's about a council seat, a Senate seat, national recognition, or just want to be seen, want to be seen, and I don't know. But you have demoted yourself. Normally, people demote you. You have demoted yourself when you start telling deliberate lies for the Jamaica Labour Party. Lies that you come out here, come tell we say you were telling lies. No amount of attack, attack Isaac Buchanan can't stop Isaac Buchanan from walk up the street. If you can dig beam out of one side of the kind eye, dig you out of the two. Dig you out of the two. Marissa Dalwympe Filbert is a convicted criminal who just pled guilty to about 8 counts of fraud and deception. I said conviction was when he was young. He has one of the best rehabilitation message you can ever think about. He has rose higher than who wanna pay for waste with money. You're all director of public prosecution. Where the next thing to parlor when it comes to dunceness is only Faval Williams. Only Faval in a Jamaica dunce like Paula Llewellyn and prove me wrong and look pan the whole heap of case we get successful appeal where Paula take our court with either tainted evidence, tainted jury, or misapplication of the law, you ballpoint dunce. I want to take one fountain pen and beat you and mess up your white blouse. Dunce. Cali morning. Brilliance is what is bothering the Jamaica Labour Party. Because Andrew never believed in a brilliance. He believed in a cronyism. And this is why Andrew can never shuffle in cabinet to make sure something meaningful policy change happen in an Andrew Holness government. The reason why Andrew Holness government is so stagnant is because him have 48 teeth and him can't choose from another. You ever hear George Wright talk yet? You ever hear George Wright talk? Jesus Christ Almighty God legislation. We are here to vote. We are not here to read. We are here to say yes, Prime Minister. We don't understand a fuck, but yes. Labor rights them, you know. Bustamante will teach the people, the man say, tomorrow we are going to raise floor. The people, them say, yeah, because Bustamante, they are making then hear what Bustamante has said. It's the same year going in a parliament, you know. George Wright, you know. George Wright, qualified with a stool, George Wright. What about hear George Wright talk yet? Myself, never hear George Wright talk. Jesus. Why? Fun and joke aside, I don't know say me dunce. When you come to number, maybe you can chat. But when you come to counting, me dunce bad. Even though I'm a little bit brighter than Faval, because I know to save $2,000 a month for 3 years is 72,000. Faval thought it was 74. So, me can say me little teeny bit better than Faval. £2,000, $2 rather. $2,000 better than Faval. I can say that because at least I got the maths right. Everybody knows me dunce when it comes to number. But Lord Jesus, Jamaica Labour Party, everything wrong with over there. So this is why you're not so stagnant. This is why you can't put a foot forward. This is why you don't have it. Ota Anvaz and George Wright, who done so? Anybody there can judge? Don't have no dunce in the state, Major? That's Campbell Wagwan. Eric Lamb. Is it Eric? I am B. So? Also? I think so. Do not have no done state, Major? Britain teacher and done. Hey, Judgment Jesus. They're both the same. Claudette said. No, I never hear Monday talk yet. God no. Andrew, that's them something they know. Them something they don't fear. When Andrew take up somebody, put the hold the seat just because they might go buy. I mean, George Wright done, you know? One hot head. When you say leave George alone, oh God, do one hot head. You know, say I don't like me attack. She, as we would have said when we were picking it, little miss morning. Shame the devil and please the cross. Hot head. Oh God, George Dunce. Mr. George, where the go look pan one man house where George I go try to give him one rather be indigent or social housing house. It was a struggle, Brian Dennison. It was a struggle for poor old George to explain what he was talking about. No, this has nothing to do with poor old George. Oh, when you say my son Dunce, I mean, no mind. That not have nothing to do with poor old George having a legislative input, a policy input. George just did if it talk about the condition where the man are living in and the assistant where the government or him can assist them. That the judge did if it talk about it. It was a struggle. It was a struggle. The question that need to be asked is how the people, the constituency vote these dunce. It is the politics of our country, Raymond. You know when the Buster man here tell them so we're gonna raise chicken, but when we're gonna raise chicken back and the people them say, yeah, and when we're gonna raise rice and the people them say, yeah. Political education matters. Literacy matters. Literacy and political education matters. Because they've kept us so under illiterate, especially when they are shout and I use big word and when they have us in the euphoric feeling. And because of our tribal diehard love for them, we don't even tap for know so them I tell we lie. Or sometimes some of us know that they're lying to us, but because we are locked in the tribal chastity belt. I not say everybody can bright, but everybody not have to dance like how a lot of the labor right them dance do a one hot head. Too much dunceness in an Andrew Oldness scam. It is the reason why we have a problem where Andrew Oldness can do a meaningful reshuffle because the people them not competent look pan favor. The reason why we keep electing these people is because of lack of knowledge, lack of political education, and political tribalism. They can pick up in certain what you would call safe seats or garrison diehard constituencies to both sides of the coin. You can literally pick up a dog or a cat and go there, and the people will vote for the dog or the cat because of tribalism. This is why after Dr. Tufton failed in St. Elizabeth, in Southwest St. Elizabeth constituency, failed as a minister of agriculture, they carry him go entrust, go push up St. Catherine people, and he's continuing his failure. This is why I said publicly, as a former supporter of the Jamaica Labour Party, if I was voting in Jamaica this election, I would vote for Mark Golding's education policy. If we do not get education right, we will maintain the same jackass standard that we are in. Because only jackass vote for George Wright, only jackass vote for Ann Vaz, and Darrell Vaz, for that matter. Have you ever heard Darrell Vaz? Well, then again, Damien Sema will give him back a stop of a count. You know? Turn some up, Darrell, turn some down so you don't confuse yourself. Yes, Lionel Messi, they pay me to say what I'm saying. Are you okay? Are you fine, Lionel Messi? I don't mind being a jackass, but you know there are some brilliant jackasses, Lionel. And then you also have some real old fool jackasses. Everything you're talking about, it goes for the PNP. Okay, Leone Campbell, thank you very much. Because of simple things, say, me a PNP or me fi be PNP or labor rights. There are what you call independent Jamaican. Now that I know, welcome. There are independent Jamaicans who are able to look at policies and make their decision based on policy, not because of chivalry. Hmm? Because you might never can tell when Mark Golden come in and if him not perform well, when I go tell me say, him a did labor right all along. But all of you tend to forget though, I am Jamaican. And because some are no labor right and some are no PNP, it is why Jamaica don't enjoy anything or get anything out of politics, because it's about labor right and PNP. This is why when we leader them come in, if JLP they are the one go the project will benefit the people, PNP come in, PNP stop the project or turn a blind eye to it because enough for them project, vice versa. PNP do this if PNP did have a good project going, such as Operation Pride. I don't see why the Jamaica Labour Party should not continue the Operation Pride project, but because them have us in that dumb docile mentality. I did the PNP project that the PNP never finish it before them lose power. So the people suffer. It's because of that mentality, labor rights and PNP, why we country suffer. Can't no think it's about uno and uno party. But no get me. None of uno now get me for join cahoots with uno because my country come first. You understand? Uno loyal to Andrew Holness. This is the problem because uno modern day labor rights, you know. And not to be the Labour Party uno loyal to. Uno loyal to Andrew Holness, the $5,000 and the back, the two-piece KFC. And don't say we don't have evidence of it. Don't say I make up where I make up and talk. We talk about reality and facts here. On our own MP tell you no, take it, tell you no in a quarreling. A JC Hutchins the same one, take it, tell you no in a quarreling. So on Atwood me I tell you, me just tell you no on our own. Them we buy the vote for for the $5,000 and the KFC. I take it, tell you no. What I'm saying, both PNP and Labour right, we're always going to have a party of our choice. But let us run our country on policy rather than tribalism. We have been running our country on tribalism forever. We need to, when a government is elected, whether be Jamaica, whether be PNP or JLP, we as the people come together and expect them to serve us as a people rather than serve their political tribalism and allegiance. If it continue like that, I can guarantee you the situation is not going to change. Marcia B. Rowe from the cockpit country. Good morning. It's not going to change once, as long as we keep making sure so when PNP in a power, a PNP they look both. When Labour right in a power, a Labour right them look both. We're going to remain in this position forever. And since, no matter what one wants, since the end of slavery and colonization, none of our leaders have seemed to want to do any adjustment to the colonial education that we inherited. The introduction of the philosophies and opinion of Marcus Garvey is going to overhaul our society in ways you wouldn't expect. Because what we will start to see happening is us, the people, start having civic pride once more. We start looking about our country rather than our political masters. Anytime they start to educate us, they will have to stop by our votes. Sorry. Anytime them start to educate us where we understand governance in our country, where we understand or know what to accept and expect from our leaders, when we know that they ought to come to us with policy proposal rather than gimmickry when it comes to election campaign time, we will not be able to move forward in the mindset that they have us in. This mindset that they have us in, we are trapped. We are entrapped by poorness, food handout, and I saw it go. Boy, what we feel about it? I saw it go. Novlet late morning. I saw it go. Where we feel about it? Education, they always tell us, is the key to success. Knowledge, they always tell us, is power. Ask yourself, why is it that they do not want to reform our education to make sure our education lift us out of lack of knowledge and poverty and make sure say, we achieve economic independence? Because we're not going to achieve economic independence with a pack of dunce people stabbing and shooting and robbing each other. Lionel Messi, me know so no labor rights perfect. Me I talk about the people them were willing to look at things from a different angle. Me I talk about the people them were willing to look at things with an open mind. I do understand, Mr. Messi, that there are members of Jamaica Labour Party and the People's National Party who have a closed mind that will not see outside of their brouhaha. But me know say some are sleepers. Uno just there and uno just there because uno just there. You know when you're there and you don't know why you're there? But, Mr. Messi, thank you for enjoying my program because you've always pitched up and you always have your say. You're a subscriber, you know. So, you know, it's what democracy and free speech is about. Everybody have their say, but certainly when Parliament is resolved and the Prime Minister calls the election, in a matter of weeks, it will be a new political dawn in our country. Thank you very much for being here this morning on a hitchhiking program because we didn't really have anything much prepared for you. We just come out here this morning and hitchhike. And we're not doing anything off paper and nothing. After we just had we thought away Ed. And we don't have to tell no lie like the Prime Minister. Certainly not. Certainly not. Yes, messy. Doesn't really matter. But you know what it is, messy? I think you all need to start psychologically getting yourself used to Mark Golden as your Prime Minister. Why I'm asking you to do this? The trauma, if you start mentally practicing from now, the trauma will be a bit less on the morning after election. Trust me, when you try it just for joke, even if you don't want to try it for real serious. Did you hear about the man that got killed in West Portland last night? Yes, I heard about it. I'm waiting to see if Darrell Vaz is going to say anything about this one and leave, Samuel Dixon out of it. We're still waiting for Darrell Vaz, of course, to condemn the brutal slaying of his friend, political donor and businessman, Samuel Dixon, Fraughty. So there's a lot of things we're waiting for. Just like how we're waiting for Desmond McKenzie tell us about the poor people, them land, where him thief off and give to other people. There's so much we're waiting for. But as I say, labor rights, want to start the psychological awareness from now. Just start it by saying, it's a high possibility that Mark Golden will be the next Prime Minister for our country. If you repeat that 3 times a day, 10 times each session, I guarantee you on the morning after the election, when the hard shock comes, it will not be so hard on your brain as it will be on others, because you have been practicing it. So the brain understands that there is a high possibility that it could happen. So when it does happen, then the brain doesn't go into an utter meltdown. Practice, practice, practice. 3 times a day, repeat it 10 times each session. It's a high possibility that Mark Golden could become the next Prime Minister of this country. Let us make Mark Golden dance us out this morning.
Anywhere he come from, send him out. If a China, if a Jamaica, if a Haiti, where he come from, we send him out. Turn, reverse the curse, reverse the curse, reverse the order, reverse the curse, reverse the order. Somebody say, reverse the curse, yeah, reverse the order. Somebody reverse the curse, reverse the order over Jamaica. Reverse the curse, mighty God. Reverse the order. If a king's house, if a God host, if a the prime.
And of course, we'll take you out with the lipstick queens. Thank you very much. And good night, good morning, good afternoon to everyone.
Oh, thy peace, God of my salvation, because the mouth of the sinful and wicked is open. Rastafari. Come with I. Rastaman throw one stone, and it break a bad feeling to all wicked men. Not a people there. Make him man throw one stone, and it bring a bad body filling to all wicked men. Only when man like Marcus Garvey speak, wicked men would I hear. Hear now hear. Oh, thy peace, the God of my salvation. Because the mouth of the sinful and wicked is open. Rastafari. Come with I. Rastaman throw one stone and it break a bad feeling to all wicked men. Not a people there. Make a man throw one stone and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Only when man like Marcus Garvey speak, wicked men would I hear. Hear now hear. Instead of not they only sit aside a rob and cheat and not first the poor. Make up what I seen to. Make him a throw and stone and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a plan. Make him a throw and stone and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. My favorite man, if Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the day them can sell out Rasta and sell it out and sell out Babylon. They give man show and stone and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. They give man show and stone and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. If Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the dead and can sell out Rasta and sell out. I sell out Babylon. Yes, stop on the Friday. You might go and stone and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a black thing, man, throw and stone and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. You have eyes to see, let him see. You have ears to hear, let them hear. What a prophet must say. President Mandela was in prison for 20 odd years. And he leave from the prison and take the seat of the president. Stone one. Big him and throw one stone and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what's a black big man throw and stone and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Rasta man throw and stone and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men.
Yes, thanks to everyone for spending your time with me this morning on an unplanned and prepare program. But never mind, we have made it through to the other side. So thank you, and join us back this evening for the People's Point of View. If you are not yet a subscriber on YouTube, please give us a subscription, and as well as on TikTok. If you are not following the program, please give us a follow so when we go live, you will be notified. Thank you. Good morning and good afternoon from Global TV.
If you don't like missing out on the latest shows but still enjoy classic hits, then Global TV Group 358 is your perfect match. Global TV Group 358 isn't just another channel, it's your ultimate TV experience. From breaking news to binge-worthy dramas and timeless classics, we've got it all. Our unique blend of original content and global favorites means there's something for everyone. And guess what? With GTVG's seamless streaming, you can watch anywhere, anytime. Plus, our interactive features let you be part of the action. So, whether you're a seasoned binge watcher or a casual viewer, Global TV Group 358 is here to keep you entertained day and night. Don't just watch TV, experience it with Global TV Group 358. Subscribe now and never miss a moment.